If you suffer from bone-on-bone arthritis, you may have been told that squatting is bad for your knees, but it's actually quite the opposite. You see, you cannot completely avoid squatting. You're likely squatting every single day anyway. Get up off a chair or sit back down onto a chair, you're actually doing the squat movement. Even when you reach down to pick something up, you're likely simulating a squat or a deadlift pattern. So in this video, we're going to explain how to squat properly to avoid pain and increase your leg strength. If you do the wrong type of squat relative to what your knees can handle, it may flare up your knee pain and make moving around that much more difficult. If we haven't met yet, I'm Gavin. I'm a personal trainer for the last sort of 13 years.
And I'm Alex. I'm a physio with over 21 years experience in private practice.
And we co-own New Zealand's only fitness studio for people over the age of 40. And knee pain has to be one of the most common sort of issues that we face within our facility here.
Strategy number one. You see, most of the stress goes on your knee joint when you squat past 70 degrees of knee bend or knee flexion. So what does 70 degrees look like? 70 degrees is about here, okay? So that's 70 degrees. Now, if we put it onto my knee joint like this, okay? So basically, you don't want to be bending past that angle right there. So how do you do that when you squat, okay? You can actually squat, if you're doing a box squat or if you're standing up from a chair, just get a higher chair, okay? Now, if you are practicing squats as an exercise, so what you could do is if you have a chair like this, great chair, isn't it? So you can actually, instead of sitting on it, you could actually use the armrest, but don't sit on it. You can just pretend you're sitting on it. So what it would look like is I'll be standing in front of it. I'm going to do a squat, and as soon as I can feel the armrest on my thighs, on my hip. As soon as I touch the armrest, I'm going to get back up again, okay? So that way, I'm limiting my knee bend to under 70 degrees. Just showing you the same thing from a side-on angle, okay? So I'm going to limit my knee bend to 70 degrees or less, and all I'm going to do is I'm going to squat down. As soon as I touch the armrest of the chair, I'm going to get back up, okay? So that way I avoid overbending my knee.
So the next way you can do it is using that same 70-degree principle. You can add some load to this, because we know that if you can add some load to the legs and the glutes, you're gonna get stronger, right? So we're gonna use something called hip flexion and extension. And basically your hips act as a massive hinge within your body. So if I was to take my hips back that way, then bend my knees, you can see I'm roughly at that 70-degree mark. So if I was to hold a weight in between my legs this way, all the load now is on my hamstrings and my glutes and my lower back, which is supporting my knees, and I can load this exercise up to get my muscles nice and strong. And when you're doing this kind of exercise, you want to be looking for a weight that's going to challenge you at the 12 to 15 rep mark, and you want to be doing about 3 sets of this about 3 times per week, all right? So another thing I like to do as well to make sure the glutes are getting super activated is turn your toes out on an angle a bit like that, right? And what it does is it changes the rotation of your hips. So when you actually stand up, you can squeeze your glutes super tight and get a much better contraction. And then obviously reverse it back down, keeping your back nice and safe and your knees above 70.
The third strategy, if your knees are very sensitive and every time you try to do a squat or anything that resembles a squat, your knees hurt, then you just need to use external support. That's okay. So you can either use rails, you can hold on to rails at home if you just do a squat at home, or if you do it as an exercise in the gym environment, you can use something called suspension cables or TRXs, okay? So what you do is you hold on to the TRXs and you can put as much weight on the TRXs as you want or as you need, okay? So you can perform a squat and let's say 30 or 40% of my body weight goes onto the handles, okay? So I'm going to do a squat, and again, I don't need to go past my 70 degrees. I can just stop there and I come back up. So it takes a lot of stress off my knee joint. So as I said, if your knees are very sensitive, it's absolutely fine to use a bit of external support to help you do a squat. Now, after a while, once you get confidence and build a bit of strength in your thigh muscles and in your glutes, doing it with a bit of support, then after maybe a few months, you should be able to do it on your own without external support.
Okay guys, so I hope you got some value from that video. We have actually put together a knee strengthening guide that you can download absolutely free. Okay, so take you through some physio exercises to help with your knee pain, and then it moves on to some strength-based training as well, because you do need both elements. You need the physio element and you need a strength element. So if you want a copy of that guide, comment knees down below. But otherwise, I'm going to leave a video in the top left-hand corner which talks a little bit more about strengthening your glutes to support your knee. So head over to that video and we'll see you there very shortly.